Hey, we're live. It's Maddie here with Redeeming Education, and we are doing a Ask a Homeschool Mom event. So we're getting live here. I'm going to start sharing this and inviting people. I'm the local specialist for classical conversations here in Tampa. And I help with books, ordering, product questions, things like that. And I do all kinds of different videos on here. We are live. So if you have questions as we go, I've got my phone I'm going to be looking at for questions. So you can drop them in the comments so I can ask our veteran homeschool mama guest here. So I'm going to have her introduce herself in a minute. So if you're watching, I do offer free shipping codes during some of my live events for the bookstore, Classical Conversations books.com. And if you're interested in that, just give me a hashtag free shipping or message me and I will get you that code and I'll remind you guys later. And in the meantime, I'm going to have our guests. Ramon, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what's your role with CC, how many kids you have. Give us a little intro.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here, Mari. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you and talk about my journey in homeschooling. So, like I said, my name is Ramon. I'm from South Florida originally. We've been a part of CC for the past 5 years. We're just wrapping up our 5th year. Hi, Yvonne. It's so good to have you joining us. That we've been a part of CC for the past 5 years. Like I said, we're just wrapping up next week. We're going to be our last day for our community day. It's always bittersweet. I've been homeschooling for the past 6 years that I've been homeschooling. I have 2 girls. My oldest is 9 and my youngest is 6 that we have. So we've been a part of CC since my oldest was 4 years old. And I am like loving it. That's why I'm here. It's still here. I started off my first year in CC as a mom that eventually the second week of CC that I became a tutor. So I was thrown in that first year of tutoring my daughter's ABCDarian class, the preschool class, which was wonderful. They were a blessing. I love those kids in there. And I just loved it. And we needed to grow. Our community needed to grow. So then the next following year, I helped build a new community in Boynton Beach. So I was the Foundations and Essentials Director of Boynton Beach for a year. And after that role of directing, I felt that God was leading me in another role. And so my 3rd year in CC, I became a support rep. So for the past 2 years, I have been a support rep for some Florida area. So I'm excited. It's been fun. It's been a blessing for our family. So those are things that I do. That's homeschooling. So we've been homeschooling. Me and my family have been homeschooling for 6 years now. And other hats that I wear outside of homeschooling is that I do work. I'm a college professor and work as a psychologist as well too. So I see clients. So I juggle homeschooling my kids and working full time at the same time.
Wow, that is so crazy. So I definitely want to ask you questions about that, particularly working and homeschooling at the same time. So we'll get there in a second. But I did want to ask you kind of like the question that's on everybody's mind lately. Is about homeschooling. Right now, we're kind of in this crisis schooling, COVID environment. I know I've been getting a lot of messages about homeschooling. I'm sure you probably have too.
Right. Yeah.
So if you can explain a little bit about like maybe you're like outside of quarantine, how does homeschooling look like normally, and then how it looks like now, and just encourage some moms out there, share a little bit.
Well, one of the things that I love about classical conversation is that we as the parents are the lead teacher. We're the one that guide the teaching. So it is different from kids that are in school and now doing this distant learning. So we're not having the teachers within the school district, within the schools, guiding and leading us with the education. It's us as a parent that's doing it. It is completely different for us too. Even as a homeschool family, being in this COVID-19 phase, our homeschool journey has completely looked different as well too, because we're missing those human contact. We're missing those times because not only we meet once a week with our CC community, and we haven't been able to do it physically. We've only been able to do it, through, a web internet. So, which has been a blessing for us. But we do a lot of stuff outside of homeschool. That's part of our homeschooling, that we go on field trips, I nature walks, we doing activities. So being home is not the big aspect of us homeschooling. There is a lot of our learning that's being done outside of the home, and we're missing that aspect of it that's going on. And especially our community, our families that we have, those connections and bonds that we have with each other, we've missed those. So as a lead educator for my kids' education, I'm the one that every day come up with what we're going to be covering, what are the curriculums, what are the things that we're going to review for that day. It's not someone giving it to me, and that a teacher giving it to me and telling me this is what my kids are working on for the week and whatnot. So I continue to be that lead educator with my kids learning. So it is different because we are missing that connection, that bond that we have. That is one of the things that we're missing. But after that, our homeschooling life has been somewhat normal. It's still been the same because it's still the routine that I've been doing, in which that we wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, we do our prayer, and then we go into our work, our schoolwork, and what we're doing. So those are the things that continues on with that. Is just now we're home all the time. So we're home all the time. So that's one of the things that we're seeing there. I see a lot of familiar faces. So hi, Kim. It's so good to see you joining us. Hi, Laura.
Hi. Yes, welcome to everybody. If you have questions while we're talking, just drop them in the comments, and then we'll discuss them as we go. Yvonne says, great point. Being home is not the same in homeschooling as in crisis schooling. Exactly. I know my kids are just having a blast. Like they're just like, whatever, we're just having fun. They don't really understand what's going on.
Right.
But for me, it is difficult because I'm used to taking them out. Like if people know me, like I'm never home.
Yes.
Like ever. Like I will legit bring their school stuff and we will go find a restaurant somewhere.
Yes.
Go eat, they can play, come back, let's do some more work.
Yeah.
Go, like it's very flexible. And
right. That's the same thing for us too, Mari. We're very busy people outside of the home with my kids in their extracurricular activities. So we take our homeschooling with us, and we do a lot of it in the car too, with the the CDs that we listen to and whatnot. So now it's like I don't have to pack up everything. We're doing everything inside the house. So yes, it is completely different there.
Right. And so you're in the house and you said you're working. So I wanted to go back to that as well. Yeah. How does that look like? Are you working from home right now? If you are or aren't, how did that play before COVID, like with homeschooling, full-time and working? Can you touch on that a little bit? Because I know we have some working moms.
Yeah. Well, I work outside the home. So I do work outside of the home as a college professor. So I teach on campus, and I do have a couple of online classes that I teach as well too. But majority of my time is spent outside of the home. What has been a blessing for me is that I am supported by wonderful family. When I tell everyone, if it doesn't matter if you're a single parent, if you're a working family, or you could be a stay-at-home mom. What matters is, like, in order to help you to be successful is to have that support, that village. And I've just been blessed and fortunate enough that I have a village of wonderful people, from my family to my homeschool peeps, because I tell people my kids' babysitters are like CC kids, homeschool kids. Those are their babysitters. My family helped me a lot when I'm going to work, that my parents are there to help us as well, that I give my kids, they know what they have to do for the day. They have their checklists and things that they'll get their things done when they go over to their grandparents' house, or, if they're home with the babysitter and whatnot. So they have that's going on. But I do majority of the lessons when I'm not working. So when I come home in the afternoon, so typically our homeschool lessons start in the afternoon when I'm home. In the morning, that's their review, that's their homework that they take with them to go to grandparents' house or stay home with the babysitter. So that's one of the things that we have. But now, since the COVID-19, we're just all home together. We're all home together. So we get to start our lessons earlier in the day than what we typically used to do.
Okay. And you're still working as well during COVID?
Yes, I am still working. So I am working. So lots of Zoom meetings, online things. So when I am doing those activities and I have meetings and my kids, they know they have their quiet time, their free time. They could play with their Legos. They have reading to do. So they're doing those readings, audio books that they're listening to while mommy is working, doing some work. So those are some things that have done. And also I'm a late night person. So I like to get a lot of my things done late at night after the kids are sleeping. So I get a lot of my work done too now at nighttime.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and I know for me, I don't have the working from home necessarily, but I know what has been helping as far as homeschooling is still kind of being able to meet with the community. Have you guys been able to do that? I know we've been doing it on Zoom online.
Yes.
That has helped a ton. We just did our last community group this week, and it was like, oh man, like, not the way you expect it to end. But how does that play in? Are you guys still able to, amidst working and homeschooling, are you still able to do community a little bit?
Yes, we still meet with our community. I'm so blessed to be part of a wonderful community that we still meet weekly and still supporting, checking up on each other. So again, that's one of the reasons why I love homeschooling and that I love being a part of CC. It's because of that community, that connection. So even through our time that of quarantine, we're meeting in Zoom, we're checking up on each other, doing text messages. We're doing prayers, calls, and seeing how everyone's doing if there's a need. So those things have been wonderful. My kids have still been connecting with their friends in their class. They're doing the messenger kids, so they're playing games together. So they're getting those chances there to continue on building those relationships, fostering those relationships. So that's not missing. So that's one of the things that I'm so fortunate enough that we're still able to do, meeting together, that I'm not by myself on this island homeschooling, because I need it. I'm a social person, so I need that. And then my kids love that too.
Right. Same here. Be at the house doing things. So Yvonne says they do the same CDs for school, playing in the car and audiobook in the car. Yeah, it's the best. Exactly. So it's hard to do that now since we're like quarantined, but reading that stuff. So what kind of encouragement would you give to families who are kind of thrown into this homeschooling thing, doing schoolwork at home? What kind of encouragement can you give for that?
I would say I would take it one day at a time. One day at a time, and don't stress and overwhelm yourself. Many of us that did decide to homeschool, we did our research. We went and we looked in regards to what we wanted to do, what curriculums we wanted to be a part of, and we had time to plan. Now, what so many of our families that do kids go to school, they were thrown into this. They were thrown into this with no planning, no preparation that was going into place. So I would recommend just take it one day at a time. Don't stress, don't overwhelm yourself and feel like you have so much to do, because in the end, one of the luxuries of homeschooling is that flexibility. If you didn't get it done today, you have tomorrow or by the end of the week. Don't worry about it. It's okay in regards to that. And even for me, homeschooling, that even though it's been our 6 year homeschooling, I felt that it took me until my second to third year that we finally got our groove. We finally got our groove of what works best for our family, and how that would benefit as well too. So I think, first, many of our families that are just going into it, just practice grace. This is all new for all you guys, for the kids, for you as a parent. Just have grace and just work on building relationships, bonding with your children and finding out what works best for them in regards to their learning, and taking it one day at a time, and not overwhelm yourself regarding the to-do list of work assignments that our kids have to do.
Right, exactly. And along those lines, we have a question. Few questions popping up now, so we'll go there. Yvonne says, how can a mom like me attain small bursts of structure especially if you're not a rigid scheduler, very creative, like to go with the flow, but need more structure. Yvonne, I relate to you a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be giving you any tips, but um, I'm a musician. I'm very just like, go with the flow. As long as we get it done, we get it done. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get it done some point today. Oh, let's go play outside. It's nice. It's very more like go with the flow kind of homeschool mom. Like I know like today we are absolutely doing reading and math. When that happens is, I don't know, but it's going to happen. So I definitely follow her question a lot. So if you have any tips, we'll go there and then we'll do some more questions.
Well, I am a very type A personality. I like schedules, I like routines, but I know that works best for me. But my kids all have different personalities, and even my husband. So I know those things may not work well for them. So what I do for my kids, they have a checklist in their room. They have a checklist that's letting them know what they need to get done for the day. That it just tells them. So I don't care what time it gets done. These are the things that we need to get done. So they check out cleaning up their room, doing their prayer, Bible study, reading, saying that they have to read for 30 minutes, or they have math to do, and they have options for their math, in which it's like it could be a workbook, it could be something as a game, or a computer app. They have options in regards to what they want to do for their math. So my kids, they go through for the day and check off the things that they need to do. So I don't have it that it's a set time that they have, because many people that know me, they know that my kids are not morning people. I'm a morning person. They're not morning people. So I do get a lot of my work done for my work, even in the morning while they're still sleeping. So by the time they wake up, they need that time in order to get them started. They can't just rush into getting there. So they take their time to get up, and then they go on their checklist. And when they're ready to do their school, they call mommy, and we're ready to work on it. We're ready to do what we need to do. But it's a lot of it for my kids is I've been teaching them a lot of independence, and getting that working for themselves. So they just follow their checklists and things like that, what they need to do. So that's what works best for me. So it's just a construction paper that I put in one of those folders, those pocket folders, those laminate folders. It's in their room, and they have their dry erase marker, and they just check off. So I put it on the construction paper, because if things change, we rip it up and we add another checklist. We do another routine and schedule. So it's always evolving, always changing. It's not something that's rigid for us.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense. That's kind of how we do it too. Let's see. My girl here, Lotta asks, how do you handle when the kids wake up cranky and your lesson doesn't go into plan? Currently just either switching activity or telling her that we will tackle the activity tomorrow. So she is 4.
Yeah.
There is definitely wiggle room. And yes, I have a 4-year-old too. And her daughter reminds me of my daughter a lot.
Laura, I have a kid that's like that. You never know what you're going to get in the morning. So I tell people that, one morning she could be happy, another morning she may not be happy. That's my youngest one. So again, it's just like, I don't want school to not be fun, and I don't want you to do it miserable. So if I'm noticing that my kid is already cranky waking up, we take a break. We take it easy. We go ahead and do something that's going to bring joy back into her life. So she loves playing with Lego, playing with Play-Doh. She loves cuddling and story time with mommy. So we do that. We do that until her mood starts to get better. And if it's sometimes that's all our kid needs is just more love, attention, to help them to go through those emotions. And even for me as a child psychologist, that's what I do. I really just try to work with the emotional piece of it. That's really more important for me. So if I notice that my kids are not in a good mood, I never want to get them to do their work when they're not happy, when they're not going to enjoy it, because I want learning to be fun. I want it to be exciting. I wanted you guys to have fun. And if you're not in a good mood for it right now, we'll just take a break. We just take a break and we'll come back to it later or tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah, I know for my kids, since my kids are younger, 4 and 6, sometimes they, like my oldest, like for a long time, she fought reading anything to do with reading. So I was like, okay, we're going to just tackle it a little bit by little bit. But then there's some days like she loves math, and she would bust out like 6 or 7 pages at once. I was like, whoa, it took you all day to do.
Right, exactly.
So sometimes it is, like you said, just showing grace. And it's like, we'll come back to this later or tomorrow tomorrow when we're calm. Because if you see they're getting agitated, you don't want them to associate schooling with just like, oh,
Right.
punishments and angry mommy and, like,
Right, exactly.
that.
Yeah,
So,
we don't want to go into that. So it's just like being more flexible,
yeah,
flexible in options and seeing, things that your kids like. So, Laura, what you find out that your daughter likes, just letting her enjoy that and just helping her to, be happy and express her emotions a little bit better. So those are the things that we try to do.
right, exactly. And let's see. I love all these. If you have more questions, just keep
Hmm.
on adding them in the comments. We have one from Kim. She says, how long does school typically last in a span of a year? Is there deadlines that have to be met? Um, we'll get your ideas on that. I
Yeah.
know I'm just going to say it. It's different for every family.
Hmm.
Families choose to school all year. Some families follow more typical public school kind of schedule.
Hmm.
But go ahead and share what you guys do if you want to share and some ideas on that.
Yeah, Kim, I know we've talked last week or so like that before, so I'm glad you were able to join us today. So for schooling, and again, it does, just like what Mari says, it varies from family to family. From the beginning, my family, we decided to homeschool year round. We do schooling during the summer, but we take lots of breaks throughout the year because we do like to travel and we like to do a lot of different things. And there's some times that my kids are into a lot of extracurricular activities, so they're into a lot of sports. So there are seasons that is very busy for us in regards to their sports. So this is even why too that schooling year round works best for us, because then I don't feel stressed and pressured to get things done within a time frame. It gives me that whole entire year to work on certain things and travel. So with us homeschooling year round, we'll go for a couple months, do something that we'll work on lessons, and then we'll take a week or 2 weeks off, a week or 2 weeks out, which we're traveling, or with my kids in their extracurricular activities, we're doing some sports event that's going on. So that's what's been working for us in regards to that. The deadlines, and Kim, I know you're in Florida, is like you have to send that letter of intent. When you send your letter of intent, then the date that you send your letter of intent for your district is that anniversary where you will, submit like evaluation, some for a teacher evaluate portfolio, letting them know about what your kids have been working on. It's really just showing progress, Kim. It's not even showing like how much work they do. I just keep a folder of everything that we've done for the school year. Everything that we've done for the school year, I have it, and I keep track of our books that we've read, and workbooks or activities and things that we've done within CC. I have all of those things and I keep them in a folder, and I just show it to a certified teacher, and they sign off on my children's portfolio evaluation. So that's the only deadline that I have, is that when I have that yearly to submit my yearly evaluation with the school district.
Exactly. And that's what we do as well. We have our
Mhm.
evaluation. We love as well to travel.
Yes.
It's us. We're usually never home. Like I said before, we bring our stuff with us. And so we tend to do stuff all year. Plus,
Yes.
my kids are younger, so that schedule works better.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we're only in our second year, so we're
Hmm.
learning to go. So it's all learning experiences. Works best for your
Yeah,
family.
we took the whole month of October off that we had because we were traveling. We went on over the road with our homeschooling, in which that we went to Europe. So we did 2.5 weeks in Europe, and that was where our schooling was, that we had, and just wanting them to learn from that, the things that they learned in CC. Now they were actually able to see it in real life, and so making those connections. So I really love for us to have the opportunity to travel, because I want them to make those connections, other things that they're already learning.
Right, right. And let's see, another good question here along the same lines. Kim says CC community fun all year. I know
Mhm.
for our community, we do like pool parties and get together,
Yes.
which we did
Yeah.
last summer and things like that. I know quarantine's a little different.
Yes, I know. We missing we had an end of the year field trip plan, going with the time, going to the medieval festival, just for us, because that was the history, what we've been learning on this year as well too. So even though CC for the Foundations and Essentials program is 24 weeks and challenge is 30 weeks, you throughout the whole year, we're still doing things, we're still connecting, we're still building the relationship. So yeah, there's still fun things that's happening with the communities that, yeah, I enjoy. So yeah, it is, like Mari said, it is different now. We don't know how it's going to be for the summer, how long we're going to be in this state quarantine. But yeah, that's one of the things that I love. We went to the beach during the summer. We had picnics. We had back to school events. So we did all those things with CC in the past years that we've been a part of it. So it's always been fun.
For sure. Let's see if there's any more questions. Okay, thank you guys, everyone that's tuning in. Like I said, if you have questions, drop them below. And I also have, again, the free shipping code for the bookstore. I know that practicums have been canceled this summer. Really sad. But I do have codes if you guys want to order anything off the bookstore. Just let me know if you're looking for that code. Let's see. Okay, Yvonne's talking to Kim, giving her some ideas.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the oldest one. Yes, when they're in challenge, you do see that they spend a lot more time doing their works because they have a lot more work. That's a part of it. The whole point of challenge is, there's different things every year. And challenge age A is like ownership, taking ownership of their work and assignments and whatnot. So you do see that there's a lot more work that comes apart to what the students had to do, but they have that time throughout the week to try to work on it. So it's helping the families and helping the students try to plan their schedules appropriately, that they can make sure that they could get their works done.
Right. So kind of along that, let's see. Oh, Lana's asking, what is the practicum? It's okay. I know. I love it. Keep asking questions. So practicum, I'll touch on this a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead, Mari.
Is a 3-day training, free training for parents that Classical Conversations, CC, we call it, puts on. One of my favorite things to do all year long. Like, I just wait for it because I know it's amazing. Like, you meet new faces, new moms to homeschooling, veteran moms that come in. They have a facilitator come in, and it's a practicum. So it's like practicing. You're talking to each other. You're not just sitting there listening to like a conference, like a speaker just throwing stuff at you all day long. Like, they're asking questions, they're helping you. And usually each practicum, there's a theme that you follow, either Latin or arithmetic. So there's a theme that they focus on to help the parents as educators become better at. And you do practice, like you'll do math problems. We did last practicum. There's a couple math problems.
Right. Yeah, they do a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot. They also have camps that you can pay for the kids. So like if you had a kid, you can put them in a camp, which I put my kids in last year, and they just have so much fun. They learn in there. Parents are learning in the main session. And then what I normally do at practicums as a specialist is I have all the books, kind of like a book zoo that you can go in and look at, open them.
For shopping time.
So normally I'd have a whole like tables worth of all the books, all the curriculum from foundations, even before foundation scribblers, all the way to the years, which is the high school years. So you can go through, ask questions, order, things like that. So now since it's canceled, I believe CC is working on some virtual things to help connect everybody. So keep an eye out for that on my page. And I'm just trying to do what I can from the computer. So if you have questions like what books, products, ordering, you can ask me. And again, I do have the code. So if anybody wants to order, they can get free shipping with the code. But that is a practicum. Do you have anything else you want to add? So Kim,
I love it because again, it, like you were saying, Mari, it's just giving us the chance to connect with other homeschool parents that not only that's within our own community, but within like our area, or even people coming from out of town, because we would have people that are vacationing in Florida that they will come to practicum from like North Carolina. Well, we were already vacationing, so I met several families that way to connect with. So again, it gives you that chance to meet people from different areas, and I love that. And my kids look forward to it every year for the camps. They love the camp. 3 days of camp in which, and then we get to hear that. And then one of the things that we've done in the past at our practicum as well too is that we've always had a panel of our challenge students, them from challenge A all the way to challenge 4. We will have a panel of them that they would share their journeys. So because how cool is it to hear from the teen teenagers their experience of being homeschooling and being a part of CC. So we would have panels of that. Sometimes we would have panels from dad panels, and dads would share their stories. So different types of things that we have that's going on. So I love it. It's my time to revive myself, learn new things, to rejuvenate, to go into hitting another year's homeschooling, being excited and seeing what else can I do to help my kids to learn. So those are the things that I enjoyed about practicum that I love. And yeah, I'm bummed that it's not happening this year, but I completely understand. So I appreciate our CC leaders for making those decisions, to making sure put our safety and our health is coming first, and they're coming up with different ways that they still could help. So for many of you guys that are new, they're coming up with different ways that you guys can still learn and participate and engage in some of these trainings. So look out, make sure you guys are signed up for CC, that your emails are hooked up with that, because then you guys will get emails from them and letting you know about what they're going to have in store for us to help us to rejuvenate and learn during the summertime.
Right, exactly. And on my page, Redeeming Education, I'm going to try to do like virtual book zoo, things like that. You can still look at the products, and then I kind of like briefly explain some of them. And then if you have questions on those videos, you can comment on there more about that, because that's also one of the fun parts of practicum,
Right.
all the new products and everything. And
yes.
Yeah, I just love practicums.
I still need to get my shirt. I still need to order my shirt, because I have the shirt every year, and this year was reading, so I was super excited. So I need to get the shirt.
Yeah,
so I will be ordering from you.
Thank you. I'll get you the code. Yvonne says I'm on the email list. Looking forward to a virtual book zoo. Yes, I'm thinking of different ideas. Just so you guys can still kind of get that feeling and see things in some of the new books. Like we have the New World Echoes that came out.
Yay.
So cool. I'll have to do a little sneak peek with that one. Let's see. Okay, so Kim, just to be clear, yes, practicums have been canceled per CC Corporate. So again, like Ramon said, just keep in touch with me, with her, and on the CC website and their Facebook page for updates and things like that. And let's see. Well, if everybody's still cool to answer some more questions. So what kind of tips? Oh, let's see. We have one more. It might be tricky. Yes. Okay. Yep.
Oh no, Laura, that's not. Yeah.
That's a great question, because Laura, I will say this, and then I'll let speak a little bit. CC does pretty much everything, especially in foundations, except for language arts and math. So you still need to look for a language arts and math curriculum that you're going to follow. So that's a great. And also, if you want to give her some maybe unbiased and biased tips.
And Laura, in the end, again, what CC it tells us is that you, the parent, are the lead teacher,
right?
Not CC. You are. So even when it comes to CC's curriculum, you find out what works best for you, what subjects you may want to focus on. And if you want to supplement and add more stuff, you can. So it just varies in regards to that. Our first year CC, my oldest was 4. So I just was like, learning as I go. And we were just doing other stuff on the side. Those are things that we were doing too. I at that time when my daughter was 4, I was doing My Father's World with her and whatnot. So it's just finding out what works best for you. So I like that it's the core that they give me that foundation. Like that's what the name of the early program is, foundation. They give me that foundation subject areas, the things that strands that we're focusing on. But after that, I'm the lead teacher, so I add on top of that. So based on the history and what we're doing for history with CC, I go to the library and get some books on history to help my kids understand that history a little bit more. And just like Mari says, we're fortunate enough that you were able to pick the math and reading program. So you get that guidance and support there. I researched a lot. I went to a lot of conferences. I went to CC, and then I also went to the FPEA. I go every year. So because there you get to see all the different curriculums and, get to talk. I'm a visual person. I need to see stuff. So I just don't want to just read about it. I need to see it, touch it, feel it, and all those things. So I got the chance to go to these conferences to really see what things will be helpful for my kids. And my daughters, I have 2 kids, they're completely different learners. completely different learners. So because of that, I have two completely different curriculums and meets their personality the best. So that's what we have to do, is just finding out those programs. But again, you could do as much as you want in CC, or you could scale back, because I've had families that have different kids that have different abilities, that have strengths and weaknesses, that makes them that are helpful. So you know what your kids are successful are, that can be successful are. So you could add on to that. And if you feel that you have to scale down a little bit, because look, my child is struggling with dyslexia, they're having that problem there, you could scale down. If you want to, the like Yvonne was saying, in challenge they read a lot of books. If you're noticing that your kid may not be able to read all those books, there's audio books. You could do audio books, so you could start those process. So you get the chance to scale and, really create that lesson and the curriculums and how you want to teach your kid. You're the one that in the end makes that decision and what works best for you.
Right, exactly. And Yvonne says the freedom and flexibility and asking fellow moms.
Yes.
And you see their stash. Yes.
Yes.
When I first started, I still have some, like I still have some backup stuff.
Yes.
I have one friend that really loves some Charlotte Mason. You can mix classical with other things. So just really, like you said, studying, it's kind of overwhelming, but a lot of your daughters are 4. So you're it's a good age to try different things. And the flexibility is key, that if it doesn't work, like if you try something and it doesn't work, you can try something else,
Right, exactly.
I know one of the huge things with CC is the community aspect of it. So when you go to community, everybody's doing the same curriculum, everybody's on the same week, we're all on the same page. So that's kind of a difference with like different co-ops. Maybe they're just doing like cooking classes or different other classes, and everybody's doing different curriculum. So that's another thing to consider. If you're joining CC and you're looking at communities, that's a little bit difference between the community and the co-op aspect.
Right. And I would just even recommend, Laura, because if this is going to be your first year homeschooling and your first year even considering CC, just take it easy. Don't rush. No, you don't have to go in already having a curriculum. Yes, I was that mom that I asked everyone. I wanted to talk to all the, senior homeschool moms and find out what they're doing. How did they come up with their lessons? So you could ask them. And thankfully I appreciate them, because they helped me to find out what worked best for my family. And I just appreciate having those support from them, that they were able to guide and say, well, I did this and I didn't like some part of this curriculum, but I like this. So those things were helpful for me to help me to come up with the decision regarding what was going to work best for our family. So yeah, ask. No one says you have to have everything right now. One of the things that freedom you do get with CC is that when you join CC, you already have a set, already for you. You got that foundation guide, or, and it's already set there, that if you start with that and just wait before you pick out what you want to do for reading and math, that's fine. You could go ahead and that way. That's you can. No, that was me. I just waited. I waited until I was a part of CC, and I added more after we joined in, because I wanted to see what was going to work best and talk to other parents and learn from them to see what they liked about different things and to see what we are. So yeah, I do Charlotte Mason at home, so we have that, there's other curriculums, the Horizons, Becca, different things like that, Logic of English. Those are all different things that I've incorporated with my kids in the past. So we're always doing something.
Exactly. And one of my favorites with the foundations guide is that it has so much in it already. Like you do only have to get math and language arts. So for me, that's something when I was looking at homeschooling and I was so overwhelmed by all the options, and I looked and was asking and getting all these ideas. But I noticed for me as a parent, I just kind of needed something laid out.
Right.
Like, here, this is what you do, and just, okay,
exactly.
Let's do that.
And something that's been around for like 20 something years, that it's been around for over 20 years and it's worked. I did my research. I wanted to be with a program that's worked, that they have that consistency. It's not changing every year about how we're meeting and how, what we're doing. It's worked and it's been being successful for the past 20 years. And I wanted to be a part of something like that.
Exactly. Let's see. Yvonne says she have study learning style, interest-based learning, hands-on visual. Try things on loan for free.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. I know in the homeschool, once you like find your tribe of homeschooling mamas,
Mhm.
things float around.
Mhm. Mhm.
You can try. I think I tried one reading book for my daughter that was really popular, but just didn't work out for me and her. So we tried
Mhm.
another one that a mom gave us, and it's working really well. So
Yep. Yep.
just flexible and grace are like the two keywords.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Professional schooling and things like that. Yes, you're welcome. We're here if you have any more questions, even
Yeah.
after the video, just message us or comment.
And even though this is we're wrapping up our 5th year, I'm still learning.
Right.
I'm still learning, and so and that's where you see that flexibility comes into place, because it's my kids' personalities are learning and developing more every year. So I have to make sure that I'm meeting their needs too. So I just try my best to do that.
Exactly, exactly. And so speaking of, because you see you have two kids,
Mm-hmm.
touch on the different age levels and then
Mm-hmm.
doing the work. That's one thing I like with CC is that you can do the curriculum
Yes.
with different ages as
Mm-hmm.
foundations. So can you touch a little bit on that? I know personally for me, when my 4-year-old and 6-year-old, my 4-year-old doesn't do a whole lot as far as like schoolwork, but she's
Mm-hmm.
I don't make her sit at the table for that long, but the balance of the different ages, because you do have to do
Yes.
some work that is age appropriate, grade appropriate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and can you touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, so like you said, Mari, we do our CC foundation review together. So that is something with my daughters being 9 and 6. I love it that we could do it together. It's a one schoolhouse model. I love that one schoolhouse model, that we're all one, we're all family, we'll come together. So I have my board, I have so I have it written down, and we review it together. My oldest, who's a reader, she reads it, and my youngest will repeat what my oldest would say. So me and my youngest will repeat what the oldest will say. So we're able to do those. We do our Bible review together. So those are the things that we have. And then after we're done with our review, and when it's time to reading and math, that's when it's grade age appropriate level. That's where I have to separate them in order to meet their needs, because I need to work with them one-on-one to help them to flourish in those areas. So when I'm working with my daughter, my youngest, were her phonics, because she just turned 6 last month, that we're working on phonics, so we're working on reading and writing, that I'm working with her. And when I'm working with her, my oldest is reading on her own. She's reading her chapter book. So she's increasing her fluency. So she's reading that, or she's doing the audio, listening to it, because I'm also working on that fluency of reading. So that's what she gets to do, working independently while I'm working with my youngest daughter. And when I'm done working with my youngest daughter with her reading and math, we switch. We switch. Now I'm working on math and reading with my oldest, and language arts. So those are the things that we're doing, spelling, because next year my oldest will be going to essentials. So we're getting ready, prepping for that, working on the spelling, that she knows how to spell some words, and her writing, her penmanship, when she's starting to write her essays. So those are the things that we're working on together. So at that time, my youngest will have puzzles. So I have independent work activities for her to do. She has puzzles, she has lacing, she loves to color, she loves to work with her Legos. So again, we're all in the same room. So it's that one room schoolhouse model that we follow, because I love when we're all together. I don't like it when we're separate. So we're all together, that she'll be in her corner, laying on her big fluffy teddy bear, just working on her Legos. And then now I get to work with my oldest, working on her lessons and doing that. So that's how we do. And then we come back together again to review, doing story time, because I do read aloud together. So we'll come back together and we'll read again together. So we start off together, then they work off separately, in which I get to work with them one-on-one, and then we come back together. And sometimes my oldest and my youngest, I love the beauty of homeschooling, because it helps foster and build their relationship. I love seeing how much they love each other and they want to work together. That my youngest wants her older sister to help her with reading. So I get to sit back and just watch that beauty of their relationship and their love, in which you see the oldest one helping the youngest with their reading, and they're working together. So I just love watching it. So sometimes I get a little bit break in which I get to just watch that and seeing how much they love each other and want to help each other out.
That is awesome. I know as far as seeing the older and younger, I see that more in our community, like when we're meeting in person, because we start the day off all together and then we break off the age classes. But when they're together and there's like the older kids with the younger, and they're just so sweet and they're helpful, it's just encouraging. It is encouraging. As I would say, a newer homeschool mom, just to see that, you're like, man, I want that for my kids. I want my oldest little, and to interact the way they do, respectfully, things like this.
And that's why, with my tribe, that our babysitters are homeschool kids, the teenagers, that I feel like, because they are like that, just like what you said, Mari. They're so loving and caring and so willing to do that I love that. And I feel like, what a blessing to have those kids to continue to show my daughters that love, and that when they grow up, they have people they could look up to, and seeing that, oh yeah, I like how so and so is, and I want to be the same, just like her, like she is. So I enjoy that. And yeah, so I love our homeschool teenagers because they're amazing as well too, and where you see how much they care because they have the younger siblings, so they already have that, and then within their community they were showing so much love with everyone there, that it's a blessing that they're able to do that with everyone else too.
Exactly. And hi, Rachel. We have Rachel jumping.
Hi, Rachel. That was my former AR. Love her.
Hi, welcome. Yeah. So, well, this has been so good. I mean, we can keep talking. You're going to keep talking. Let's see. So, what kind of advice would you give a lot of these new moms that are on here asking questions, or new to homeschooling moms that are on here, like their first step? Don't be overwhelmed, things like this. Well, how would you guide them in that? If that makes sense.
I would tell them, like, again, grace, be flexible. Don't overwhelm yourself. Even when going to the conference, I would tell people, there's so many books, there's so many people going to talk to you. Don't get so overwhelmed. Just take it one day at a time. Talk to other people, research, ask questions, and use the support that's there, especially within your community. You're going to have your directors will be there to continue to provide you that support there. And what works best for one family may not work best for you, and it's okay. Just do what's best for you. Like I said earlier, we homeschool later on in the day, and in the past I used to freak out and say, like, oh my goodness, I wasn't homeschooling at 9 o'clock in the morning. We were doing it late in the evening. But that's what worked best for us, because that was the time that we were all together. We wanted that family time. So so we would do it late in the evening to nighttime. That was when we would get our homeschooling done, because in the earlier they would do their activities and I was working. But that's what worked best for my family. That's what worked best for it may not work best for your family, but that's okay. Find out what worked best for your family and just go with that, and just continue to and love the journey. I tell families that if you're interested and you love learning, then you can homeschool. If you love learning, you can homeschool. It doesn't matter what your educational background is. Anyone can do it. My family came from Haiti and stuff like that. So this homeschooling is something new in regard to that. This was not something that people would do. But if you love it and you love that time spending with your kids, then you could do it. You can homeschool.
Exactly. You can do it. You can do it. That's so encouraging, because I know when I first started, I mean, I felt overwhelmed. Even sometimes I still feel overwhelmed sometimes. And people will say, "Oh, I could never do that. I just don't have patience." And a lot of times I'm like, "Yeah, me neither. I totally get you." There are times I just need a break, things like that. But God definitely gives us the strength.
Exactly.
To do this. Like, if you know that He's called you to this, you're the parent, you can do this. You just might need to break, call your tribe, do what you got to do.
Exactly.
right?
Mom nights out. That's what we have. And then, my husband has definitely been helpful. Is like, especially now too with the quarantine and being home all the time, that I just get to have the bathroom to myself for an hour, no interruption, anything like that. I just drink my tea and my coffee and just enjoy that. So you're going to see that, if yes, God called us upon this. I never thought I was going to homeschool my kids. This was not something that we knew we wanted to have kids, that we knew from the beginning. I know many parents were, I thought they already knew that was something they were going to do. This was, I felt that God called us upon doing this once my daughter was like 3-4 years old. And then that's when we started the journey. And then God just made all these people enter my life that were homeschool moms. And then that's how I found out about CC. And God just placed these people in my life at the right time when I needed them. And they just helped me regarding homeschooling and making sure that we were able to accomplish it. So it's been a blessing for me. And that's even like that love and support that I get from all these families has just been the number one reason why I love CC and I've been a part of CC this long, is because you get that love unconditionally all the time.
Right. So much grace and support.
Mm-hmm.
So much. And if you want to know my personal story with how much grace, you can ask me. It was not a very first year, was not very easy with my oldest, but the moms were so helpful and encouraging. Lotta says, how is the process of getting validated by the school system board? My understanding is that they still oversee some stuff of the homeschooling portion, so I want to make sure that I'm aligned with what they expect. Can you touch a little bit on that?
So Laura, so all you have to do is just like I mentioned it earlier, is that you just have to let the district know in your county that you're sending the letter of intent. That's what it is, saying that you're going to homeschool. Then at the end of that, the day that you send your letter of intent, that is going to be your anniversary day. 1 year from that day, every year around that time, you need to complete an evaluation or your portfolio. You have to find a certified teacher or a psychologist like me, and you could get evaluation, or you could do the testing. And CC has a homeschool testing that's available. You could go ahead and do that. And once you get those things done once a year, you get it certified, you get it completed. That's all you need to show. That's it. It's just your portfolio. Then you have just sending that letter of intent and getting that evaluation completed. That's how much in Florida, and I'm thankful for Florida that they don't require so much from us. I know other states, they require a lot more, but that's all that Florida requires, is that they just want to show them, they want to see that your child has made progress. That is it. That is what they're looking for, that your child has made progress from the last year in regards to that. So those are the things that you're going to see that the district, the school system, the school board is involved with, is that they want to see the progress that your child has made throughout that year that we have. And after that, that's it. That's it. And then when they're in high school, then you could create transcripts, and that's going to help them for college. And again, CC has all that support, all those resources for every program. From there's a support help for challenge A, challenge B, challenge. You're going to have all that support for you, and even a separate one for transcripts that they're going to be there. That any additional support you have, CC has it. And what a blessing to that you don't have to be on this journey by yourself trying to do all those things. So I appreciate that CC has all those support available for us as my kids move up and grow into it, that I could continue to help, and I could make sure that I'm meeting their needs, that when they're going to apply for college, that I have everything in order, that I have it there, because CC will help me with that.
Exactly. And we do have some resources on the bookstore. There's transcripts made easy for those who are approaching the high school level and want to learn about that. And also with the evaluations, find someone who's kind of familiar with whatever program you choose. Right. Since we do CC, our current director is an evaluator, so we were able to use her, and so she understands like what we're doing. She understands what we're doing at home, what we're doing in community. Right. So that's probably one advice as far as finding an evaluator. Right. Finding someone who kind of knows what you're doing at home. Right. So they can look at your stuff and be like, oh, okay, yeah. Like if you're doing classical style of learning, somebody who's familiar with that. So they're not like, what are you doing? I have no idea what this
Right,
is.
right, exactly. That
I
is so
know
true.
later.
Yeah, that's a great advice as well. My mother-in-law is my certified teacher that does our evaluations for my kids. So yes, you want someone familiar with homeschooling, familiar with the type of lessons and things, curriculums that you're doing, that is familiar with CC and understand it and know what they're looking for to sign off on your evaluation form.
Right. And let's see. There's a question from Kim. We can touch on this real quick because we're almost hitting the hour mark. I mean, we can keep
Oh my
talking.
goodness, I can't believe it went by that fast.
Yeah, this has been so fun. I love it. Okay, so she says, is it true that we should connect with the HSLDA, the Homeschool Legal Defense Association? Do you want to give your opinions on that? Yeah.
They're our advocates, so they help us with any issues or concerns that you may have. There, so yeah, and they're part of they're everywhere throughout the United States, and yeah, in Florida we've had some great advocates that's part of HSLDA that has pushed for homeschooling, that has gone lobbying for us. And again, if you're having any issues with your district, that's what they're there for. So yeah, it's always good to be a part of them, and they give a lot of free resources and a support for you as well too. So yeah, it's great. It's not something that's expensive to be a part of, that just to support you, because if you're having a problem within your district with homeschooling and your district is giving you issues, yes, you're there. They can support you as well too. So yes, it's a great organization to be a part of.
Exactly. Let's see. Thank you for answering that.
No
I don't know
problem.
if you have any more questions. We'll see if they pop up real quick before we close. But again, just stay up to date on this page because I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff in the month of May because practicums are canceled. So I want to give you guys as much resources as possible as far as like the books and products. If you have any questions at all with ordering, if you place an order on the website, you can ask me as well, and I will contact customer service for you and we'll figure it out. So if you have more questions, definitely keep them on the thread because we can come back later after we close out the live and answer them.
Yeah.
Another video like this.
I appreciate it. I want to say, I definitely want to thank everyone for coming and joining us, especially the people too I've already talked to so far. So it's good to have you guys here. Now you guys have a familiar face, with the voice that we've been talking, and super excited to help you guys on your journey of homeschooling, guiding you guys wherever direction that you may go, finding a community near you, because that's what the support rep does. We're helping you. We help you to find a community near you and get plugged in with that. So that's what my role is with CC, is helping building more communities that you guys don't have to drive so far away to find a local. So I'm always trying to help build. Where can we build more? Because we want these communities to exist for the future, and that your kids could graduate with CC. So that's what our goal is. And I'm here to help you guys to connect with the directors and find those. So yeah, if you, like Mari said, if you guys have any questions and you're looking for a community near you, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly. And I'm here for any product questions. If you have books, curriculum, anything like that, just let me know and we will help find the answers. And we are just here for you for anything homeschooling. And even those who find themselves going back to public school, a lot of moms who, once they have to go back to work, if they decide, okay, we're not going to homeschool, we still have a ton of resources for you as well, books that you can use and supplement, things like that. So we're here for you no matter what. We hope you join one of our communities because we love them. We want you guys to love them as well. Yeah. My kids are hitting their threshold here.
I know. I heard mine in the back. I heard footsteps.
Yeah, they're running in.
I heard footsteps as well too. So I know mine is coming up as well too. But thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys all being here and asking these questions. And just like Mari said, I can't reiterate it enough. We're here for you. We're both here for you. That anything you guys need, just let us know. That's what we're here for, answering any questions. And if we don't have the answer, we will find the answer for you. So we will always get that. So we don't have all the answer, but we will always make sure that we can help you guys in that area.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting
me. We will be back soon, hopefully, with more stuff. Just keep an eye on my page for the few things coming up in May that I've got planned. So thank you again. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.